some representation of homeless. So I've always imagined what it would be like if one person in an encampment decides, you know what, I've had enough. I've just had enough. I'm weary, I'm lonely, I'm cold, I'm hungry, I'm tired. We are defeated, we are constantly run away from, we are constantly avoided, we are constantly, no one wants us anymore. The nation has thrown away our veterans, the nation has thrown away our children, the nation has thrown away our mothers and daughters and our sisters and brothers. So now, what if someone were to say, I've had enough? And years ago, I worked with the San Francisco Sheriff's Department, working with the homeless. And I've noticed that our throwaway is what their treasures are. And they discovered a small television, and there were some videotapes, and I wondered, that stayed in my head for a very long time. And I wondered, what were on those tapes? What could possibly be on those VCR tapes that would interest? And thought of, wow, what if Shakespeare's plays were on those videos? What if they actually heard it over and over and over again? And our play begins with that. Our play begins with our, we call him Tyrone, our Macbeth character listening to this, and the transportation of his PTSD vision, terrified, hunger-starved vision becomes the story of Macbeth. Becomes the story of this tyrannical king and how absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that is what I wanted to bring across in this play that was adapted by Migdalia Cruz.
Can you introduce your cast to us?
Would the cast introduce themselves, please? Let me pass it down, and you guys go all the way down. Here you go.
Adrian Roberts, Macbeth.
Jamie Williams, Malcolm. Hey, y'all.
Hi, my name is Oluchi Wokocha, and I play Ross Plus.
Champagne Hughes, yes, I'm named after alcohol. I play Banquo and the Doctor.
Hi, my name is Sumi Narendran, and I played Seaton.
Hello, I'm Najesh Krishnan. I played Macduff, Duncan, a murderer, an apparition, and one of the party guests.
And a funny house guest, yes. Migdalia, please introduce yourself.
Migdalia Cruz, I was the translator from ancient English to modern English.
Hi, I'm Fumi. I play woman, Fleance, Macduff's son, and witch.
My name's Dave Hitz. I'm the one who came up with the idea of translating Shakespeare into present-day English.
I'm Leontina Bilangong. I played Lady Macbeth.
Hi, I'm Mohana Rajagopal. I play Lady Macduff, Lennox, and witch.
Question for Dave. Dave, we've referenced play on. Many people in this audience may not know what play on is. Can you tell us, what is play on?
Sure. I've been seeing Shakespeare all my life, and somewhere along the line I got the idea, well, what I've learned is if I do the homework ahead of time, read the play or read No Fear Shakespeare or something, I really enjoy it. And if I don't do that homework, I have a bad time. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool just once in my life if I could see it in my native language of present day English? And I talked some folks at the Oregon Shakespeare Festival into doing one experiment, and it went really well. And the woman I was working with, Louis Duthet, said, you know what, let's do all 39. And she found 36, actually, a few people did a couple, but including Migdalia, and said, let's translate them all into present day English. But she still wanted it to be heightened language, intelligent theatrical language. If you go see a play by Chekhov and it's dumbed down, technically the term for that is a shitty translation. So we didn't want that. And I hope that's what you experienced. That's the play on project.
Migdalia, question to you. What do you think that women of color, people of color bring as a playwright, our perspectives, or your perspective, to translating this work?
Well, the only way I would do it, when I spoke to Louis about it, was if I wrote for a cast of people of color. That's how I got all my plays.
And then following up on that, you're presented with a text, you and a typewriter. What were you trying to bring out? What themes did you want to bring out?
Oh, it didn't start with me and the typewriter.
Typewriter? I'm old school. Right? So you're presented with a text. What are you trying to do with this?
Well, I think what I did was, I tried to find the me in him. So I'm like, here I am from the South Bronx. I get emotional talking about this stuff, and really don't worry about me. It's just
She has these
homeless
fits.
encampment. Homeless encampment and shit. So I went to Scotland, and I went to his grave. I went to Macbeth's grave. And because the way I create all my plays is I create altars to my characters. I know nothing about him. All I know is what people have said about him. He was a real person from, you know, the 1100s. He's buried in a mound on an island in the Hebrides. I'm going to find him, and I'm going to pray around him and make sure that when I create this altar, that I'm doing justice, not just to him, but my ancestors, because ancestry is very important to me and who I am. So that's where it began. It began in this mound, I think, in Scotland. And then I worked with a woman from the RSC as my dramaturg. She has done like every part in Shakespeare. She did in every Shakespeare play, I think, for like the last 40 years. And because I wanted to make sure the text was speakable. And I didn't want to write with like, I mean, I know how to do research. I know how to look things up. That's not what I needed. I needed to work with someone who could read it back to me, and I could say, yeah, I hear it. And I didn't ruin it. And I kept what was important. And I could put myself in it, and I could put it in the mouths of my people, and not feel like they're having to, you know, put on some kind of bizarre Mayfair accent, which doesn't relate to us at all. But the passion and the drama and the pain of this play and the love is very related to my people. So I was like, okay, so how do I do that? So using my own skills, I guess, as a poet and a playwright, I then reset it. I was like, I want to clear all the cobwebs out of it and make the language really clear so that it can be in anyone's mouth. I don't want anyone ever to say to me again, which has been said to me several times, that our people aren't entitled to poetry.
Thank you. Next question, Leontine. I happened to hear your interview on KALW with Adrian, and I think it was your observation that in some ways Lady Macbeth is more qualified to take the crown than Macbeth is. Can you tell us about your preparation for the role?
Well, I kind of started with this concept that Peter had about who our homeless people were, and in trying to figure out who my homeless person was, and in trying to give her backstory, what I had created was this woman who was in an engineer who couldn't get ahead, who had hit the glass ceiling. She was working in a world of men who didn't appreciate her gifts, who were always mansplaining, I just read an article about that, who were always mansplaining things to her and considering her unqualified to do what she did, and having hit up against that, the frustration of that combined with many other things. But the main thing that I took from that into Lady Macbeth was the notion of, well, who are you to tell me that I am not able to do these things, that I am not just as qualified and smart and capable as you are, and yet you will repeatedly tell me that I am not. And the given in the world of Macbeth is that she can't be queen. She is not the one who goes in to kill Duncan. She is not the one who is going to become queen. All that she can do within that realm is make him do something. And it felt to me like, all right, so you guys want to rule the world, fine. Do you actually have the balls to do what it is that you say that you want to frickin' do? So I think, that to me was the kind of the basis of Lady Macbeth's frustration. She was that she had this ambition, she couldn't fulfill it on her own. She had this man who was not as strong or as focused or as capable as she was, but he was her only vessel to achieve what it was that she wanted. And so fine, screw your courage to the sticking place and let's do this. if you say that you want to do this, but you just want it to fall on your head miraculously by some, that somehow something will skip over and you'll become king on your own, no. So if you say you want this, then let's do this.
Excellent, excellent. I could do this all day. Let's take some questions from the audience. Anyone have a question right up front?
I cannot comprehend why Macduff leaves his wife and kids at home when he takes off. We look at our thousands of refugees, good people who, when they see danger, they pack up and the whole family and they come. What's with Macduff? Does he have his head screwed on?
Dave, Migdalia, do you guys have?
Playwright.
Oh, no, yeah, Migdalia. Why does Macduff take off?
That was more of a comment.
Yeah.
Macduff leaves because it's urgent. It's urgent that he get clear of danger, and he doesn't suspect that Macbeth is going to be as evil and crazy as he is. He's after me, he's not after my family and my children. Who does that? Who'd kill my children? Well, Macbeth did. So when it happens, that's why, he doesn't leave them because he is abandoning them. He really, not in his head. In his head, he is trying to find Malcolm to come back and take back the crown to save Scotland, to save his country.
Dave, did you have a thought on this?
One of Louis' thoughts is that when you see new plays produced, the playwright is in the room. He or she is an active voice working with the company. And one of her fantasies was that in doing these translations, it would be as if, again, Shakespeare's voice as represented would be in the room and defended. And part of the answer to your question of what does it mean to have a woman of color, she is playing the role of the playwright, representing the play. And I don't know what you experienced, what I've heard other people say, because there were some readings and other productions, she's defending some of the parts that are important to her as a woman.
Yeah.
And did you get any of that?
Oh, yes.
And could you talk about what her as the representing the playwright in the room, how you experienced that as director?
It was the strangest thing for me. I've performed in over 23 Shakespeare plays. As I told you earlier, I'm going to be Othello, and I want to do Lear, and I want to do Merchant of Venice, and I want to do them all here, and the actors of color. It was the strangest thing to do a Shakespeare play and have the author in the room. It was very weird. And in meeting with Migdalia, I knew that there were things that I wanted from the play, and I knew there were things that Migdalia wanted from the play. And I knew that there were things that I thought, that's not going to fit my conceptualization, but I wanted to listen to Migdalia because she's the adapter of the play, she's the reworker of the play. And all the work that she has done, I wanted to respect that and honor that. So we had several conversations. And we met in Berkeley, and we had hours and hours, page by page, line by line, text, scene by scene. And there was lots of negotiations, lots of talk, lots of give and take.